Well. Back at it again, boy. So, Samurai Warriors 5, I haven't updated my thoughts on this in quite a while. I'm going to sit down. How's the bed? There's a lot of wear and tear, if you get what I'm saying. So, Samurai Warriors 5, we pretty much know everything that we can know about it at this point, except for the side mode that they're going to have. So it's 27 confirmed main, heavily involved in the plot characters. Weapons will be reused with some combo attacks being different. I'm mostly fine with that. We'll have to see in practice how bad it's going to be. Like Samurai Warriors 4. Really, and I have tons of time played on that game. I've gotten every character to max level, all objectives, all of that, platinum trophy, whole shebang, over 100 hours, 150 hours probably. I haven't checked it in quite some time. Several months ago I did that just for fun, just because I was bored grinding it a little bit every day. But, mostly the way I played, of course I know it depends on the character, but is mostly combo attacks and hyper attacks that are the big focus for me. So I can't say that normal attacks being same is going to affect me that much. I have to say, I watched, and I didn't want to spoil it for myself, but I was just on Reddit, and I'm part of the Dynasty Warriors subreddit. So, or Warriors, I think it's called, or whatever. The one that has 10,000 people in it, or whatever. And somebody had shared a clip of somebody playing. I'm guessing it's probably the first 1 or 2 missions or whatever, right, of the campaign. And I didn't even watch him start the mission. I didn't watch as far as the character selection screen, but they have chapters. And the very first chapter was just called like Raid on the Imagawa camp, which, I mean, they play around with the ages and stuff a little bit, but it's Nobunaga trying to capture Ieyasu to use him as a hostage, which, you know, obviously some artistic creativity's been used on that one. But if it's going to be, and this is what they said it was going to be, I just didn't believe them necessarily at first, but if it's going to be a Samurai Warriors game with a very large focus on history with a lot more detail, because I mean, you think back to the days of Samurai Warriors 2, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I haven't played it in quite a while, but I think Nobunaga's campaign was like what even would have been his first stage? Shit. I think his first stage may have been Kanagasaki or something like that, which skips over like the first 13 or so years of his headship of the clan. The whole, you know how they have Nobunaga's ambition rise to power? That's most of the rise to power out of it, right? I'm fine with them going through 1551 or 2 all the way through 1582, taking that 30-year period and just fine combing through it, because really, even if you do like the history, which I do, I love all history, period. But of course, feudal Japan, there's a reason why people just love it all across the world. It's very interesting, very convoluted. There's a lot to it, a lot of romanticizing about it. These games being no exception. But I have no problem at all with them slowing it down, and really taking their time and going through everything, which that was my impression with it. That's what they've said they're going to do. I think in a recent interview I seen the quote, the highlight. Somebody can run this down, it was said somewhere, I believe, that this was going to be the one that has the most content out of any game they've ever done, Samurai Warriors wise. I think that's really cool because this is the part of the period that interests me the most, to be honest with you. It was, but to circle back, and I didn't do too good of a job extrapolating, elaborating on it, but Nobunaga's campaign in Samurai Warriors 2, you start out Demon King mode, which was fine, and it was, I mean, just a crash course. It was only, I think the story modes in that game were only 5 levels. So it was 12 years that skipped out on his entire rise to power. And the first Samurai Warriors was even worse. Now, you really did start at Okahazama in that one, which was 1560. And depending on if you took his hypothetical route or not, you went even beyond 1582. So, personally, I'm a fan of that. As far as them narrowing the roster, listen, once again, so long as everybody is cool and fun, I do not care. I love the first Samurai Warriors game. They shared this. Samurai Warriors 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and this didn't even occur to me. But I think their dude who runs their Twitter account was like, so Samurai Warriors 5 will have as many characters as Samurai Warriors 2 Extreme Legends did. I think the only reason why people are stressing the characters, and it's understandable, I wasn't that happy about it at first myself, but I think the main reason people were stressing the characters is where they've already introduced so many. It feels like they're taking away, like they're going to make the experience lesser. And that's a good fear to have, especially because I assume they're going to charge $60 for this brand new game. If you want to buy the game, you don't want to have the sequel have less content than, you know, the old one that was made, that came out in 2014, so 7 years ago. That's crazy. You don't want it to have less content. I get that. And also with the weapon cloning, that's just another fear. Personally, and I may be smoking the hopium, I'm optimistic. I really am. From what I've seen, it looks good. I prefer this approach to storytelling with a little bit more history mixed in, even if it is stretched and pulled and taped up and whatever. I prefer that. The new art style looks cool. Looks like they're going with bigger maps. I'm fine with that. I think that's cool for missions that take a little bit more time, some of them. And I enjoy what they're doing with the supportive, they call them supporting characters, where it's basically unique NPCs that are playable sometimes, that use the same movesets as the normal characters, which all the times they've done unique NPCs before, they've had default weapons and they were not playable. Sometimes, you know, in Legends expansions or whatever, they were made playable and given their own unique movesets, like Katsuie Shibata in Samurai Warriors 2 is a great example of that. He had the regular old spear, then they gave him the twin axes, which they've, ironically enough, they've gone back and given him the spear, but I think they're going to make him a lot more interesting and likable of a character. And that is one thing I will say about the redesigns of the characters. In my opinion, that shit is way overdue. Because some of them, I mean, that's another problem with having that many characters, is how can you make that many people unique and interesting and make people want to play as them? They did a decent job at that for the most part. But I mean, even for me, there were some winners and losers. Like, I did enjoy playing as people just for the movesets. Like, the number one I can think of right now is Kiyomasa Kato in Samurai Warriors 4. God damn, that's a fun moveset with the scythe. Sliding around, binga bonga. You know the thing I'm talking about. That was very fun. As far as him as a character, I mean, kind of dry. I enjoy the history of Kiyomasa Kato, but his implementation into the series I thought was a little weird. Plus, I don't know that they ever explain the Snow White hair, which is fine. I mean, it's a video game, it's anime, it's fun, but that was just a weird one to me because he was, you know, for most of his appearances, he's a really young man. And from the late parts of his life, which I don't know that he even lived to be 50 years old. I don't know that he ever lived long enough, and even in real life, to have that snow white hair. So I thought that was a little odd. And some people that are perpetually old, like Yoshihiro Shimazu, he's old in the 1580s when he appears, and then he's old, you know, 10 years later, 20 years later, which I suppose that's fair. I don't know. I enjoy, and what I wish they had done more of is really just take a core set of characters and really show care and attention to how they would change physically, attitude-wise, over the course of all these events, over these victories, defeats, everything in between. And that's an ambitious way to go about it. It probably wouldn't be as happy fun to go about it that way. But for me, that is the perfect evolution of the Warriors series, if there is an evolution left to have, is to make it darker, grittier, maybe add a little bit of blood in there, add a lot more history to it, because really, as far as just having fun, happy-go-lucky, off-the-wall characters, there's no way they can beat Sengoku Basara at this point. Sengoku Basara has done that, and they've done it really well. Man, I'm such a stud, ain't I? Good Lord. I'm looking better. I've lost 30 pounds, by the way, if anybody's still watching. Over the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, I've lost 30 pounds. I'm at a roadblock right now. I know this video is about Samurai Warriors, not me, but I've been stuck at 190, somewhere between 190 and 193 for weeks and weeks and weeks now. I cannot get down, which I've just started. I've switched to lean cuisines for lunch. I don't eat breakfast, but I've switched to lean cuisines for lunch, which even the biggest one I could find at the grocery store where I work is less than 400 calories. There's like one that's 380, and I can't even remember what it was. It's some type of pizza or some shit like that, which I wouldn't even eat that anyway. Most of them are just chicken and Salisbury steak, and I mean, pretty much it's all chicken. Chicken and some type of vegetables, chicken and vegetables in this sauce, chicken and vegetables in that sauce. They got a couple meatballs ones, spaghetti one. I don't know. I'm playing around with them. More updates on that in the future. But to wrap up, I enjoy all the characters so far. To wrap up, circling back one more time. If it's already going to be a train wreck, we might as well go all the way. So, because the series has been around for 25 years or whatever, they have really, in my opinion, and you would think they'd have had to have, because it's been their main business for fucking decades now, realize what makes characters fun and interesting and whatever, and really nail that home, because they're going to redesign every character. No is no longer the... I don't even know if she was a masochist or a sadist. She seemed to have tendencies of both, which I thought was really cool. I liked her. Oichi is no longer a little girl. You know, which I know it doesn't say much about her personality yet, but they shouldn't have done that shit in the first place. Even if that was historically accurate, they should have messed with that age from the get-go. Katsuya Shibata, I mean, he fell flat. He fell flat. I don't know that anybody has ever ranked him in their top even 5 Samurai Warriors characters. Not in any of the polls I've seen, and I've seen a lot of them. That was a trend for a while. You know, this will be a great... And honestly, I really liked Toshiie when they introduced him. Honestly, he was my favorite character there for a while when he came out in Extreme Legends. Samurai Warriors 2 Extreme Legends. I thought he had the coolest moveset. I thought he had the coolest look with the gold armor and everything. And the spiked hair, I thought that shit was rad. He has not been shown as much love in the games since, in my opinion. Although Samurai Warriors 4, they built him up a lot more. I felt like they didn't do a good job at explaining really his importance in the grand scheme of politics. I mean, I know they covered it briefly in a couple of the mission intros or whatever, but that's, you know, it's like I was saying, when you jump around so much in time, you know, they had 40 levels or whatever, and it's over the course of almost 60 years. They did not have time to really... I mean, they could have made a 30-hour game that went through everything in extreme explicit detail. Would people have found that interesting, though? I'm not sure. I would have, but I'm not everybody. Everybody's not me. Thank goodness for you. But really, that's all I got to say about that. Here, today's, what, the 3rd? I don't know where I'm looking. Is it the 3rd? Yeah, okay, it's the 3rd. So we got another, I mean, almost 2 months to go. They got it coming out on the tail end. Was it the 27th or something like that of July? Quite a ways to go yet. But, you know, really thinking back, the time has flown. And I'm hoping that this next little bit will fly too. We'll see. Before Dynasty Warriors 9 came out, I was having dreams and shit that I went to go buy that at a store. There were people hindering me. I hate being hindered. There you go. Look at that giant fucking bump I got on my neck right there. Kind of hurts when I touch it. Yeah, I don't feel good. I don't know what that is. That's all I got to say about that, though. I hope you have a great day. That's the update on the Samurai Warriors 5. That's where I'm at with it. Tell me where you're at with it. Tell me your thoughts and opinions. We will debate. Or probably just agree and shake hands in the comments. We'll see. I tickle myself. Alright. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Sincerely, I appreciate you. More videos coming soon. I got an SD card for the fucking phone. So now... I'm going to be busting out these 18-minute bangers on the reg, son. On the reg. You're going to be unsubscribing and shit. You're going to see my face so much in your subscription feed. You're going to get tired of looking at me and being jealous. That's all I got to say about that, though. Bye-bye.